Hey guys, today we got MrsPac, the third of the Pacman games for the color computer. This one is from T&D Software. It's a very competitive game. Looks very nice. Certainly looks closer than Miss Gobbler. It's a little bit jerky perhaps in the gameplay, and you have to be a little deliberate with the controls. Otherwise, it can be a little hard to control, but it's not uncontrollable. You just have to be a little on the deliberate side in the way you control it. But a very competitive version of the game with the moving fruit and the multiple mazes. If I had bought this game back in the day, I would have considered it a perfectly viable game. But this was not your typical arcade game that commercially released. T&D Software was a subscription service that for $55 a year on tape or $70 a year on disc, you'd get a tape or disc every month with 10 programs on it. Usually at least one of them, and sometimes more than one, were games. I wouldn't expect something of this quality every month, but if you got something of this quality 2 or 3 times a year, the service would have very much have been worth it. Another good example was a year after this, they released King Peak, which was the only millipede clone for the color computer. So you could get some very good games from them. Then in 1990, as companies were going out of business, and Tom Mix being one of them, they must have sold their library to T&D Software or had some kind of a deal with them, because in 1990, every month included a game from Tom Mix's library, including Ms. Maze in the June issue. T&D was an early supporter of the CoCo. They weren't the first subscription service. That would have been ChromaSet. But they were around in the early 80s, and they were around in the early 90s as the CoCo was winding down in its commercial form. So T&D was a long supporter of the color computer. Apparently they were responsible for some very good games. I have very much enjoyed playing some of their games that I have in the collection. I think more and more that perhaps it was a mistake not to have subscribed to them back in the day, because who knows just how many really fun games I might have gotten from them. But I do have this game today. I'm very much enjoying this playing this game today, and I hope that you enjoyed this walkthrough.